Good morning, and I'm here with Dan from Physical Therapy, and we are talking about back health, upper back today, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
So, what do you have for us for today?
Well, good morning, and we've got some various stretches and then some strengthening and a lot of scapular strengthening because that's a lot of what we do for that and to help with the posture.
Nice.
So these should be a lot of reviews that people have seen before, but I think they're really good ones, so
Okay.
we'll go through them. The first one is a tilt when you sit. Most people have poor posture, so they sit slumped like this. So this is just an exercise to get you in proper positioning. So it's seat back and then your anterior pelvic tilt.
So, you're going from, and we are doing on Monday, we'll be showing a one, it was shown yesterday. We did how to sit healthy for your spine, whole 30-minute class, so this is perfect.
Oh, good.
Okay, so from kind of rounded right here.
So that's the picture of a poor posture with your sitting that you see with most people, kids, adults, elderly, everyone sits poorly. So this is, we're trying to retrain and get you to sit upright, so shoulders back, pelvis forward, so you get a round or a
You want to
opposite of a rounded.
keep your natural curve.
Yep, keep your natural curve. And then I've got you doing reps of 10 of this and just holding it for a second, just so you kind of get used to it.
And you can feel the difference,
And
too.
you can see the difference. And then that's where you can learn to correct yourself. So when you're sitting and you're enjoying watching TV and you're like, oh, I'm sitting in poor, then you know what to do to get yourself in proper position and then try to hold that while you're sitting and watching and try to hold it for maybe when the show is on, when there's a commercial, you can relax and then get back in good posture. And then the goal is to get you so you're sitting in good posture all the time.
Yeah, to change those habits that are so easy to get into. And also kind of doing this, aren't you kind of doing a little bit of a pelvic tilt as
you're
well?
doing an anterior pelvic tilt.
Which, some people find that they kind of get a little bit of range of motion increase by doing that. So there's another reason.
And then I think like that the pelvic tilt that we're doing there, that's similar to what you do when we were doing the cat camel.
Yes, yes.
On your hands and knees, that's the same pelvic movement. So if you can, kind of think about it that way too.
And in yoga, we do ones even seated. I guess it's in the Tai Chi class where you're up tall and then you round and you're holding onto your legs so you're feeling that cow, cat seated. So,
Yep. So this is kind of just doing it in a natural position because people aren't naturally sitting on your hands and knees.
Yeah, right.
Unless you think you're a dog or something. And then the next one we're doing is a rotation. So we try to keep you in the good posture when you do this. And then you can cross your hands and then you're just going to one side and we just have you holding 5 seconds or so, no longer than that, and then go the other way. And that kind of gets your mid side of your back for a stretch.
And with that one, you want to think of coming up nice and tall. Because I've seen some people, they kind of keep rounded and do this, and you're not going to get nearly as much rotation.
You're not getting much benefit from that at all.
So you want to reach up and then turn.
So you're trying the anterior pelvic tilt. Another way people can think about it is if you have it like a string on top of your head, and then I'm pulling that up, and then that's pulling you into good posture.
I learned this one a little while ago. You put your hand on the back part of your head and then take it above your head about 1/4 of an inch and then try to rise to meet your hand.
Yeah.
And I just love that one. I feel like I've seen a change in people when they do that lengthening that I'm usually looking for.
Yeah, that's very good.
Yeah, yeah. And so that's one a trick I've been using recently.
Okay. So that's a rotation, and it's getting your kind of mid-lateral back. And then the next one, what we're doing is again, in good posture, we're going to stretch out your lateral sides. So that is having one hand at the side, your other hand up here, and you're trying to stretch we do, I have this one, this is a little bit harder to get in the position, so I just have a, hold it 10 seconds and do it 5 times.
And then over to the other
Yep,
side,
and then
of
over
course.
to the other side.
And do you want to try and keep both parts of your hips down and not let them come up?
You can, I mean, when you're coming this way, you keep this hip down, but this hip can come up maybe just a little bit, but really you're trying to get the stretch
Yeah.
in your side. So if you're lifting up your pelvis, then you're not getting the stretch.
And it might be a sign that you need that stretch, because if you're lifting, you're trying to kind
You're
of avoid that
compensating,
stretch a
yeah.
little. So pay attention to what you're doing with your both edges of your hips.
And most people, when we're seeing there's an issue with this, they are out forward too much and they're not doing it quite right. So you want your shoulders back even this way when you do it, so you're getting more of a real stretch to your side rather than
Then a
something,
rotation.
a rotation.
So to try it, one thing I have done in doing this one is try to keep your shoulder and hip in a line as best as you can, and then come up and over.
Yep, that's good.
Yeah,
That's
because
good
that way
cues.
it keeps you from going forward. So think of shoulder and hip in a line and reach up and over.
Yeah. So that is a favorite and a good one.
And those feel good.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then I've shown this when we've because we're going through this a second time, and I've shown this before, and we did it. I think we did it laying on your stomach, which is it's a harder position to get in. So I had it standing or sitting, and Jennifer says that this is a fan favorite.
Yes,
already,
we've been using this
so you
one
guys
a
know
lot,
this one
yeah.
well, but it's a good one.
And you might just join with us
Yeah.
on it, because it's good for you, and you can do it just seated there. You don't need anything.
So sitting or standing in good posture again, and then you do the Y, and when you get yourself in the Y, and then you try to pull your scapular shoulder blades together. So you get in the Y and then squeeze back, hold it 2 seconds, and then you can go, this is a T, and you hold back 2 seconds, and bending the elbows, hands like this, squeeze back, and it's getting your shoulder blades just in a little bit different areas. And then you can go in like this with palms up and squeeze, and do that again for 2 seconds.
So, and it's the YTWL.
Yep. We've got our copies got Chinese written all over the top of it for some reason.
It's a good thing we already
But,
know 'em.
yeah. Very true. So then we can go through that like 5 times, do repetitions of this one.
Okay.
But that's the first thing to get your shoulder blades stronger, and that helps get your proper posture. Most people find that your lower traps, which are the lower part of your shoulder blades, are really weak with people, and their upper traps are tight and strong. So they're
Used
up like
to-
this more. So these exercises are trying to strengthen your mid and lower traps and get it a lot stronger. So it's a very necessary exercise for almost everyone.
Yeah, it's a good one. Especially also breaking that habit of the shoulders up towards the ears.
And this one, it's showing how it blends in your posture, your back, and your shoulder. Because when you're doing shoulder strengthening exercises and you have shoulder issues, that's one of the first things we go to is your scapula strengthening.
Yeah.
So it just shows how your body is interconnected and what you do. When I had I had a shoulder fracture in 2016, and I hadn't done rehab for shoulder because the occupational therapists do it a lot where I work, and so I was expecting maybe a little bit more of shoulder lifts and when I started, it was all scapular strengthening, and I was like, yeah, I mean, it was all like kind of teaching you to get the proximal part of your joint stronger. So it was kind of eye-opening, but
Yeah.
it did the trick. I mean,
Did you continue doing those exercises or working in that vein, or did you need to?
I did the exercises. I'll be honest with you. I did them for, I think, 3 months, and then I skipped one day, and I never did them again.
You know, I find that to be a problem with everybody, is that you get going, you felt the benefit of physical therapy, you're like, I'm gonna do my homework, and then there is that time when it starts to decline. But that's also a time to call us, and we can set you up with personal trainer to help with that accountability, if you notice that. But I think that a lot of people do that.
I wish I should get back at it and do a little bit more, because my right shoulder gets a little, that's where I had the fracture. It gets tired before my other joints. So like when I ride bike for 2-3 hours and I'm holding on like that, my right arm will get sore. So I notice that there's a little bit of weakness that I could have carried on with, and I still could.
Yeah, yeah.
There's no excuse.
Maybe this will get you started back.
Maybe.
Oh, looking at the next one, Rose. I've always liked
So the next one is Rose, and it's TheraBand strengthening. And so I brought a TheraBand.
Need me to
and-
hold it for you?
And I will. Yeah, you can hold it, and then
Okay.
I'll do it.
Because
And
you can use a door.
Yep, you can get a TheraBand. I don't know if you have extra. We probably do in therapy if people need some.
And we've been delivering them, so if you need a TheraBand, just get in touch with us. Email, leave a note in my box, and we will deliver it.
Okay. So you put it through the door and put it on the handle on the other side. And then the trick is if it goes through the door and it's where where it closes, that would kind of rip on this. You just have to make sure you're above it or below it.
Oh, okay, so you don't want it right on the part that moves.
Yep. You have
Okay.
to keep it, because then this won't last very long. But that's probably the best place to put something like this, I would think.
Okay.
I haven't come up with a better idea. So the first one is Rose, and you can do this. It doesn't matter if you do it sitting or standing. I prefer standing just because then I can move easier to get the right resistance. Because you're the one that is deciding how much resistance when you use TheraBand. It's not a certain amount of weight. If you pull it tauter, then you're going to get stronger resistance. If you move closer and it's looser, then you get less resistance. And when we're doing these, we're having you do reps of 10, so we want you to have some fatigue by the 10th rep. So if it's real easy for you at 10, then you need to step back and give it a stronger stretch.
Because that
And
feeling, that fatigue is so important. That's where you're getting all the growth and change.
if it's easy for you, you're not really
Yeah.
doing a whole lot. The other thing is the TheraBands. You can, I use blue a lot because it's a mid-range one. But if that's way too easy, then there's thicker ones you can use, or you can double them up,
And,
then that.
and we're delivering a pretty strong one. We
Okay.
decided that's the way we would go.
So is yours stronger than blue?
Ours is, it's a different company.
Okay.
And so the colors don't quite match. So let me feel it. Ours are about the same or a little heavier.
Okay, good.
So, because it doesn't have the TheraBand written, ours are green. Do you want to show the row?
Yep. So the first one is going to be more lower traps. So we have it like this. Have your arms out, and then this one is keeping your elbow straight when you do it. So and you try to squeeze your shoulder blades together when you're doing it. That's where you should feel it mainly.
One thing we're always trying to tell is you have to focus on the muscle group that you're working, because there's that mind-body connection. So really focusing on squeezing those shoulders together
Yep.
and keeping that focus.
And you get people doing all kinds of things when we do this to start with, so it takes a little practice. But when we're doing these, just so it's not just pulling the arms back, it's more in your back where your scapulas are. That's where you want everything. So that's the first of the 3 rows. The second one is upper, more your upper shoulders. So that's going to be with your elbows out like this and going back. So you're going to do this, and you're going to try to squeeze your shoulder blades together as you keep your elbows up high.
Go. Really squeezing those shoulder blades together. You know, this gives me an idea of doing a little class for everybody to follow along with. with the TheraBand in the door. So they learn how to set it up and all
Oh,
the exercises
yeah.
they can do.
So I was feeling I could have done 15 or 20 of those, so I backed up just a little bit to make it harder. And then
Yeah,
that's 10 or 11, and I can feel it quite a bit, so that's probably about right for me.
You always want to listen to your body, feel where it's working and how hard you're working, because those are both important factors.
And then the third of the rows is with the elbows bent and close by your body, and you're just pulling back like this now.
Do you want to try it?
Yep.
Okay.
So this one is.
So always making that adjustment if it's too easy.
Yes. There.
Great.
So those are the TheraBand ones, and those are great ones. And then the next on this handout, are you going to let people have these if they want
Just
them?
reach out if you want them, and we'll deliver them to you. So you can email, call, or leave me a note, and we will get them to you. Also, as we've been going through it, I've been thinking of an idea. We will put together a little video of how to do the stretch band. So we show them how to set it up against the door, and you can just follow along with us. And we'll have that emailed to you on when we'll be able to put that out for you.
Okay. And then so I have a picture of just poor posture and good posture just to show everyone, so we'll just talk through it. And
Okay.
the poor posture and standing is with your head forward, rounded shoulders,
I'll do it from the side.
and a flat back. And what we want is your shoulders back, your head up, chin tucked, and your get the correct curve in your back.
That curve is so important. We do so many things during the day to knock out that curve, sitting incorrectly, picking things up incorrectly. That making sure you've got that curve, I think, is so important.
And so then there's two exercises that I have you doing that are just with standing posture.
Okay?
The first one is standing. Should we go against this and pretend this is a wall back
Yeah.
here?
Depending on the exercise.
Well, so we're going to do just a poor posture, fix it, and then step forward.
Okay.
And
I
then
might even
practice.
try and do it to the side. That way they can see what I'm doing. Pretending like the wall's right behind me.
Okay.
I'll make the chair the wall. There we go. Okay.
So we're against the wall. We got poor posture. So we're working on just fixing things. So we get our shoulders back, try to get our shoulders against the wall, bring our head back, get our head back as close to the wall as we can, knowing that most people can't get all the way back.
So you can really use that wall as a tactile cue for what's going on in your body, because so many of us have a hard time sensing our place in space.
Yep.
So feeling that wall, so I'm trying to feel for my imaginary wall. I was rounded.
You're way away from the wall, poor
and
posture.
Then I feel I come up to the wall, shoulders, head. But then one place you don't want is the natural curve in your low back. That does not have to be in contact.
Right. You want your butt against the
butt. Upper mid-thoracic.
And then your
and
back of your
shoulders.
head if you can get there, shoulders. And then we're just going to take a step forward and try to maintain that posture. And that's just, you got the cue from the wall, and now you're just trying to stand in good posture. So that's just a way to teach that.
Yeah, that wall can really help you figure a lot of things out because it gives you that relationship of place and space that so many of us have a hard time body sensing.
And then the next one, I had just a wall just standing, and this is what I do a lot of with a lot of people is what we try to do is to get you in the right posture against the wall, and then we're going to increase the time you can maintain it. So we'll start with, like if I see someone for the first time, I might have them do 30 seconds and do it 3 times. And that's hard for them, and they're just at 30 seconds, they're ready to kind of relax. You let them relax, and then back at it. And then the goal is to get standing longer and longer periods, like we talked about in the sitting posture. So we can get up to 5 or 6 minutes in good posture.
Well, and that's the one thing I might add, if you don't mind, is
Sure.
we get into a habit of bad posture and that feels normal to you. So then when you actually come into good posture, that feels awkward and like work. But it doesn't mean that you want to stay with your habit that's not serving you. Am I?
You're exactly
Yeah.
right.
Because I feel like a lot of times it doesn't feel right to you, so you want to go back to what does feel right. So sometimes you have to have that wall or something or someone to show you, oh no, this is what you want. You know, you need that cue.
And like at home for myself, because I fall into this trap all the time too, is it's mirrors, like when I go in the bathroom,
Yeah.
or I guess that's probably the most place where the mirrors are in our house, but I'll see myself and I'll be like, oh, I gotta, with good posture. And I mean, I'm reminded several times a day to do this.
I've
So
been
it's-
working on a thing called Chi walking and Chi running, which is taking Tai Chi form into your moves. And they made this excellent point that, like ballerinas and things, they're always changing their posture because they're always in front of a mirror. But so many of us, if you're walking and running, you cannot tell your posture, so we don't know where we've developed bad habits. And they had given this really good talk on it. And so I was out of town at the time, and I was in Dallas. And having the reflective windows was a great thing. So I was practicing my walking and running and checking every time I'd see a mirror. So if you're in a big city or any place that has a reflection, always look and check your posture. It can be a good thing. Just a window where you can see a little bit of a reflection of yourself can give you that cue. Make that change.
I know I was just on running on a treadmill earlier this week because it was raining so hard, and it was the reflective window in front of me, and I was tired when I was running, and I was like, oh, good God. That was horrible. I mean, I was down. And,
Yeah,
I mean,
those things, anything that gives you a little bit of that
Yeah.
sense of your own place and space, because it's hard for any of us to do.
because you dream that you're looking great, but
Yeah.
the reality is a different thing.
Exactly. And so, use that time when a mirror's going by or a reflection on a window, check your posture, because it's so important for a healthy spine and for the way that your joints are going to age as you go forward.
I got two more exercises, and then this is basically, the next one is finding a wall, turn yourself around, and then we're trying to get upright.
Okay, so now you're facing the wall.
Yep, so if this is the wall, then we're facing it, and we're trying to get
Okay,
our
so
arms up as high. And so that most
I might
people would
come
think
this
this
way,
is,
just-
most people think this is just shoulder elevation, but it's more we're trying to get your upper trunk extended.
Okay.
So I have people, and it's very effective, is you get your hands up like this, and then you just try to reach your hands up.
I did a lot of that with my shoulder injury, and it really helped increase that range. And it
I mean,
gave you a lot of tactile cues, too.
So you get, I mean, it's a shoulder stretch and a scapular upper back stretch, but it can be either or both for people.
Yeah, that's a good one.
So I have this one, and then I just have you hold it, since it's a higher work to get the shoulders up there, just hold it a little longer. So hold it 15 seconds, and then you can just relax down 4, 5, or 10 seconds. It's your choice on your rest break, but do 5 repetitions of that.
Okay. No, that's a good one.
And the final one, I forgot the dowel, but you can use a dowel, you can use a cane, and then it's just bringing your hands behind. It's shoulder extension,
Maybe show
but that's
with
going to
this.
help with your upper arm too. I mean, it's going to help with your upper back too.
You would use a dowel or something, but you can try it on
So-
this.
Be invisible, cane, and we're just going back like this.
But you can kind of feel it with this.
Hey, I mean, yeah. So you go back, hold it 3 to 5 seconds, relax, and then 10 of those, and that's going to help. That's going to help
And it
extend
even
your
get
upper back.
that chest stretch, too, from
Yep.
that forward posture that can creep up on us.
So that's going to help strengthen and help with the posture quite a bit. So I think that's a pretty good one too.
Yeah, it seems like it. Those are great. Thank you. Well,
Okay.
did you have
Oh.
anything else you wanted to add?
No, but I mean, if we weren't talking, we could have got through those in
Oh, yeah.
10, 12 minutes probably. So it's not time-consuming exercises. And most of the stretching ones at the beginning you could break these apart, so you could do it in the morning when you're on the couch or, having a cup of coffee, and then do the rest later time. So I think that you could easily fit something like this into your regular day.
Oh, definitely. And it's so important. Those little changes to your posture and the way that you're moving and that increase, those make such a big difference, even though that doesn't always feel like it when you're in the middle of it.
Yeah, but people
That's
have
the way that
really had,
changed.
we've had good success with people changing people's posture, and they're up walking around again, and their friends are saying, like, you're looking better, you're standing taller. I mean, so it's a noticeable change, and it can be done. So
That's the best.
I just
when
encourage
other
people
yeah.
to do this.
And we're always here to help if you need anything. Don't hesitate to reach out. Have a
Yep.
wonderful week, I guess.
Happy Halloween.
Yeah, oh yeah, I keep forgetting. Forgot my costume. Anyway, have a wonderful day. Thank you.